All right, if you've picked up one of these Ulanzi AM18 wireless microphone sets, or you're considering it, I picked one up a while ago and I've been really happy with it. It's been a really good microphone set for being a budget mic. I was considering, trying to spring for the DJI mic stuff. I just couldn't get myself to spend that kind of money. I'm kind of on a tight budget. It's been really good. I'm using that right now. Obviously, you can see that. So I don't know. You'll have to be the judge of the sound quality. There's one key feature that it did not have that the DJI mic set had, and some others that I really wanted. And it's a simple modification that you can do yourself. Let me show you how I do it. Let me take a quick break and tell you a bit about our sponsor of today's video, PCBWay. For do-it-yourselfers and makers like us, having a reliable partner to help take our projects to that next level is awesome. PCBWay is the partner you want. Of course, PCBWay makes custom printed circuit boards, but did you know they offer 3D printing services? 3D printing has made it possible to build amazing creations, and PCBWay makes it so easy. Take your STL or STEP files, send them to PCBWay, and in just a few short days, you'll get the parts delivered right to your doorstep. Click the link below and you'll get a $5 discount off your first order. Thanks to PCBWay for sponsoring this video. Now, back to the Ulanzi AM18 microphone set. One thing that it's missing is a magnetic map set for the microphone. I wear a lot of t-shirts, and if you're trying to clip it on, you're clipping it on your collar, and then it's up under my, on your neck. Sometimes my beard rubs on it, and it, makes some noise. So I want to be able to just magnetic it, stick it to your shirt somewhere. It didn't have that. So I actually found a way to do that. I've already modified my other microphone. Let me show you that real quick. So I've clipped this onto my collar, and you can see it kind of flops around. That's why it's not ideal. That's why I'd rather have it on a magnet. Let me pull the other one out that I've already modified, and let you take a look at that. Now, one thing to consider when you're finding a sheet metal, if you're going to find some that you've already got, make sure it's thin enough so that it'll go back in the case. Now, this one I've got, it is thin enough, and it does slide back in. There's a little bit of tension there, so I've got to kind of squeeze it to get it to go all the way in. But so keep that in mind, because I'm going to show you some links to some of these little plates that you can get off Amazon. Like anything on Amazon, you got to buy like 10 or 15 pieces, so you only need like 2. But I'll try to find one that's got the right thickness. But I don't have it, so I can't promise you that it'll work. So do your own due diligence and do some research to make sure that it's thin enough. I'll give you a measurement for this plate that I'm using from this scrap sheet metal that I found. For a magnet, I'll also show you some links to some that you can get off of Amazon. I just found a magnet that I already had. If I was buying some off of Amazon, I would get bigger ones. This one's a little bit small. I'll stick it on there so you can kind of see how big it is. But I've never had it fall off on me, but I would like it a little stronger. Get a good magnet, and you got to make sure it's strong enough so it'll go through a layer of clothing. So you can see now I've got my magnet, using that one to hold on this other microphone that I've already modified. So, it doesn't pull your collar down. It's not going to get tangled up in my beard. Let me get my scrap metal and I'll show you. All right, so I just happened to find this piece of sheet metal, and I just need to get a slice. I just need to measure out a piece big enough to fit over that. So this one will be just fine. It's very thin. So I'm going to lay this over that and make a line. Geez, sorry about the noise. I don't know if you can hear that, but I got a huge windstorm just popped up outside and it's shaking my garage door. Now I'm going to use some tin snips. You might even be able to just use regular scissors for this. I don't know. So I want to cut all the way through this way. I'm going to cut off this other slice. Make sure that it fits where you want it. Now I'm going to round off these corners so they're not so sharp. I don't want it catching on stuff, so just kind of smooth that up. Now you might be good enough just to clean this up with maybe some alcohol. I took a little sanding pad to it to just kind of roughen it up. Some sandpaper, because I wanted to make sure that the adhesive for the double-sided tape will adhere good. Same with the metal. I want to make sure that that glossy finish that's on the sheet metal is cleaned up. so it'll stick. You don't really need it on the outside surface that is going to be against your shirt or whatever, but the part that has the adhesive, you want to make sure you have a good surface for that to adhere to. So I like to get some isopropyl alcohol and just make sure that the surface is good and clean. You just don't want it popping off while you're wearing it, and then your microphone falls on the ground and breaks. Okay, let me grab my double-sided adhesive and we'll come back and put it on there. Now what I've got here is some 3M double-sided adhesive. Looks like it's 3/8 in width. You could probably use some super glue on this. I don't super glue that much, so I'm not sure if that would hold as good as I want it to. But also keep in mind that this upper portion of the back of this has got little ribs, and it's not going to stick very good if you just glue that part. But with the adhesive, I think it's going to work its way into there a little bit and hold. Okay, so what I'm going to try to do is cover up the entire back side of this, and I can trim around it once I get it on there, because this is going to be larger than the surface, but I'll overlap it just a little bit and then I'll trim it off, the extra. Okay, so I've got it on there. And I might be doing this way overkill. The microphones don't weigh that much. Probably would be just fine to do one strip, but I'm going to go ahead and cover up all of it. All right, let's trim that off. As you can see, I've got a little extra around it, so I'm just going to trim that off. Use a razor blade or scissors or whatever. I'm just going to use my scissors here. Okay, so that's all on there. It's the same dimensions as the back of it. Now all I gotta do is peel off. Just have to peel off the backing. Easier said than done, apparently. Yeah, sometimes this stuff really sticks. All right, I got my adhesive on there. I just need to line it up, make sure it's good and square the way I want it. And don't squeeze it too hard. You don't want to break your clips, but you know, put some pressure on it. And there you go. Now let's see if this one's thin enough to fit in there. See, it's a little stiff when you first do it, and as you push it in there, it fluxes out the case just a little bit. And it'll also get thinner as you store it in there. But goes all the way in. So there you go. You've just modified your Ulanzi AM18. Now you've got that really awesome feature of the magnet. It really gives you a lot more versatility on where you can stick it and utilize it. All right, thanks for watching. Thanks again to PCBWay for sponsoring this video.